Right then, welcome. Friday, Good Friday. So you're going to need a strap or a tie or a belt or kind of anything that will help us just stretch out our legs today. Oh, someone's just joined us. I knew that would happen. As soon as I moved away from the camera, someone comes and joins us. There we go. Hi, come on in, come on in. So if you're just joining us, you're going to need a strap or a tie or a dressing gown belt for some stretches. If you haven't got one to hand, please don't worry. You can just hold on to the back of your trousers if you need to. So I was just saying at the beginning of the practice, with the unseasonably warm weather we've had over the last couple of days, apparently there was a pollen bomb over the United Kingdom. And I've been going for walks every day in Hilliers around the Arboretum. So it's full of flowers and trees, which are in glorious blossom. But subsequently, my eyes, and the last couple of nights, I couldn't sleep. I wanted to scratch my eyes out. They were so sore. So I staggered down to the chemist. I thought, blow this. I staggered down to the chemist yesterday with big bloodshot eyes. Oh, it looked horrible. And I said to the chemist, I took my sunglasses off and I sort of blinked at him very blearily. I said, I need something for my hay fever. So he gave me the usual antihistamines. We checked whether they make you tired. So he gave me the antihistamines. And then he gave me a nose spray. And I looked at him, I sort of peered at him angrily through these big bleary eyes. And I said, I'm not got sneezes. It's my eyes I want to scratch out. And he looked at me and said very wisely, everything is connected. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have a philosopher as a chemist. Everything is connected. So we're going to use that mantra. I mean, clearly he was talking about our eyes, our nose, and throat and ears. They're all connected, which is, my nose spray has actually helped with my eyes. But we're going to use that wonderful words from my chemist today. Everything is connected. And we know from our yoga practice that we are a sealed unit, and that how we move one part of our body will have an impact on another part of our body. How we breathe has an impact upon our nervous system, our mental state, how we feel. And we know that when we connect the breath with the movement, it can have that wonderfully calming and soothing effect on the body and the mind. So everything is connected. So let that lead us through our practice today. So that being said, you're going to need your yoga belt strap or tie, and just pop it to the right hand side of your mat within easy grasp. If you've not got a yoga strap, a dressing gown belt or whatever, will be perfectly serviceable. So we're going to start lying down today, but we're going to connect ourselves to the earth very carefully. So feet flat on the floor, ease your way down onto your back. And when you get there, if your back feels a little bit tight from having just got up, perhaps, maybe a week of gardening, enjoying the sunshine, maybe just give your knees a little squeeze, have a little rock, just massage away any tension before we begin. And then we'll allow our feet to come back down to the earth. So let's think about all of those points of connection that we have with the mat, the earth beneath us. So we're going to pick up the head, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and then very gently lay the very middle of the back of your head back down on the floor. So we've lengthened the neck. And if that's uncomfortable, pop something underneath the back of your head if you find that it's difficult to keep your chin very gently tucked in. And then gently pop your chest up towards the ceiling. So you want to just lift your upper back from the floor. So a little kind of bursting of the chest up towards the ceiling so you can snuggle your shoulder blades towards one another and down your back. And then just let the chest sink, create a little bit of space there. Softening the shoulder blades. Pressing into the soles of the feet now. Just lift your hips just a little away from the floor. Tuck your tailbone under as though you want to curl it up towards your face. Keep that little tuck as you release the hips down towards the floor, lengthening the tailbone towards your heels. You might want to do that a couple of times, creating a bit of space through the low back. Lovely. And then from that connection, that grounding position, walk the feet a little wider apart, maybe towards the outside of your mat, and then drop your knees towards one another so they can prop each other up. Just take a moment there. You might need to make any subtle adjustments. And then taking the arms a little bit away from the body, let's turn the palms up towards the ceiling if that's comfortable. And if you wish to continue that theme of connectivity today, just connect your thumb and your first finger if that feels comfortable. If not, just loosely allow the fingers to relax with the palms open towards the ceiling. Closing the eyes this morning. So really keeping that thought in mind throughout the practice today. Everything is connected. So let's start with that connection with our breath this morning. So as we perhaps slow down and stop, maybe for the first time this week, maybe we've had a busy week. Just take a moment to draw your awareness to your breath. I was just listening to Thought for the Day on the radio, and Good Friday is typically a day in the Christian calendar for contemplation, a moment of reflection. So let's take a moment just to bring that awareness inward as we contemplate, we reflect upon our breath. And our breath is a great barometer for how we're feeling, maybe a reflection of the week that we've had. So when we're busy, when we're stressed, maybe a little bit anxious, the breath sits in our chest. And as we begin to relax into our bodies, relax into our breath, so we're able to allow the breath to drop down a little bit lower into our lower belly, feeling it in the belly, rising and falling. So wherever you're feeling it today, it's fine. Don't worry about trying to force any changes this early on in the practice. Just allow the breath to settle, and maybe of its own accord, as you begin to settle into your practice, so the breath might naturally begin to deepen and lengthen. Everything is connected, so let's connect with our breath. Each exhale is an opportunity to deepen that connection you have with the floor beneath you, so allowing the collarbones to broaden, the shoulder blades to relax, the area around your hips to soften. Just make sure that the feet are comfortable, you're not gripping with your toes, so that area of connection with the soles of the feet is, again, soft and relaxed, allowing the weight to drop heavily through the feet. We're going to start with a little breath-based exercise here, a little pranayama that we'll try and continue at various intervals throughout the practice. And it's a really nice one to practice off the mat if you're ever feeling that you're a little bit discombobulated, or you just want to, again, contemplate, reflect just for a few moments in the midst of the busyness. And if this feels uncomfortable for whatever reason, then just focus on that steady stream of breath coming in and steady stream of breath going out. If you're comfortable, we're going to start to count the breath. It's called Samaspriti breath, or balanced breathing. So over the next few breaths, see if you can begin to make your inhale the same length, depth and quality as your exhale. So you might want to add a count. Sometimes that kind of induces a little bit of panic, feeling that you've got to reach a certain number. So if that's not for you, then just kind of get that sense, that feeling that each part of your breath is balanced. If you want to add a count, you might be breathing in for a count of 2 or 3, maybe longer, and then see if you can breathe out for the same length. Sometimes called square or box breathing. And so you're taking the breath round the 4 sides of the square. So let's take a few rounds of that. Balanced breath. Samaspriti means balance. So deepening that connection with our breath, and as our breath begins to settle, so we find that connection with our mind, our thoughts, letting the busyness drop away as we just contemplate and reflect upon that balanced breath. Take a couple more rounds. Breathing in, and then releasing the breath with that same length, depth and quality. That's important. We're not forcing one part of the breath to match the other. Lovely. So we're going to come back to that balanced breath in the middle in a minute. So let's just take one more round, breathing in for your count of 3 or 4, whatever it is. Breathing out for the same length. And then just allow the breath to drop back into an easy and steady and natural pattern. You might notice already that that's had an effect on the breath. Lovely. So just start to wiggle the fingers a little bit with the palms turned up towards the ceiling. Little wiggle, wiggle through the fingers. Then open and close the hands a couple of times, spreading the fingers nice and wide as we start to enliven the body with our gentle practice. And then keeping soft fists, just circle the wrists a few times one way. And then a few times the opposite way, just warming up into the joints. Lovely. And then we'll bring the palms down to the floor alongside you and walk your feet now so they're hip width apart. So their knees are still pointed up towards the ceiling. We've just drawn the heels a little bit closer in, about hip width apart. I always feel I need to just lift my hips and rearrange my pelvis when I do that. So we're going to come back to that lovely Samaskriti or balanced breath. So again, we'll all be working at different speeds and rhythms here, depending on our breath pattern. And so connecting again with that steady inhale and exhale, same length, depth and quality. On your next inhale, we're going to reach the arms all the way back above the head, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Back of the hands find the floor. You can widen the arms if you wish. And exhale, same length, depth and quality. We bring the hands all the way back down alongside you, hands spread nice and wide. So connecting with your balanced breath now, inhaling, reaching the arms all the way up and back. Trying to keep that connection with your upper back to the floor as you do so. And exhaling, coming all the way back down. Let's do that just once more. So if you find your shoulders are creeping up around your ears, take your arms out in a nice wide V shape instead. So we've got a little bit more space this morning. Lovely. We're going to add on, so staying with that lovely balanced breath, we're going to inhale, take the arms up, this time lifting the hips into a gentle bridge flow now. Hips come high, top of the inhale, and then as you exhale, lower the hips, lower the hands. Again, connecting that movement with the breath. Let's do that again. So inhale, you might be lifting for the count of 3 or 4 as you lengthen and lift. And then lowering and releasing, same length, maybe 3 or 4. Might be more, might be less. Let's do that twice more. Pressing into the base of the big toe. So again, just noticing again that connection with what your feet are doing, with what your knees are doing. So when we press into the outside of our feet, so our knees tend to roll apart, and that in turn affects our hips. Let's do one more. We're all a sealed unit. Lovely. So this time we're going to keep the hips down. So lower the hips, lower the hands. Just the arms lift. Inhale. Again, sticking with that balanced breath. This time as you exhale, hug your right knee in towards your chest, hands to knee comes in towards the chest, little squeeze. Foot to floor, arms reach back as you inhale, again sticking with that lovely balanced breath. Other knee coming in, left knee, give it a little squeeze. So slowing the movement down, let's do one more of those each way. Inhale to reach back. So shoulders should be beginning to warm up, warming up into the lower back now, a little squeeze of that right knee. Foot to floor, arms reach back, don't rush, stick with the breath. It's a lot to think about. It takes our mind off whatever else we might have to think about, worry about today. Left foot to floor, reach the arms back. This time we'll bring the right knee in towards the chest and pause and hold. So giving that knee a little squeeze, sliding the shoulders down away from the ears. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, if you wish, just bring your head up, nose towards knee, keep the shoulders away from the ears, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, let's lower the head all the way back down to the floor. And slide now that left leg out nice and long, keeping the heel connected to the floor. Now press into that left heel, really drive it down so the toes stay up towards the ceiling. And see if you can bring that right knee in and up towards your chest. So we're getting a lovely lateral stretch across the lower back. Now keep pressing into that left heel as you gently guide that right knee out towards your right armpit. It's coming down towards the side of the body, and the left foot quite naturally wants to act as a counterbalance and roll out. So see if you can keep pressing into the heel. Lovely. Right knee coming to chest. And see if you can now just reach down and find your hand underneath placed belt or tie. looping it around the ball of your right foot. So you might need to lift head and shoulders. Slide your hands, so keep the knee to the chest, be in no hurry. Slide your hands down your band. And depending on the length of the band, you might be able to rest your elbows on the floor as you extend that leg up towards the ceiling. Might be a bend in the knee this morning, so you can adjust the hands according to how you feel across your hamstrings and your shoulders. You might reach the arms up, but see if you can keep that connection across your upper back. So my shoulders haven't lifted from the floor there. There's a nice heaviness. Keep pressing into that left heel and bring your band into your right hand, left hand to the top of your left hip as a little reminder there. So let's take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, take the right leg out to the right. Gently press down with that left hand, acting as a reminder that you need to anchor through that left side. So it might be a little way, you might be coming down, a little bit lower. Lovely. Stretch out through both heels. Steady breaths. You might come back to that balanced breath. Let's use an inhale to bring the leg to center, changing hands into the left hand, right arm down alongside you. Take a little twist. So as you roll onto the outside edge of that left leg, so the left toes this time are going to roll open a little way. As you come over, you can turn your head over that right shoulder if you wish. You might be drawing the toes of that right foot towards your face. You might be releasing a little bit, depending on how that twist feels for your back this morning. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center, band into your right hand, left hand onto left hip. Let's open the leg out to the side one more time, pressing into that left heel, feel the connection. Press away with both heels, really fire up the legs here. Inhale to center, band in the left hand. Exhale, let's come back to that little twist. So just let the right arm drop down, down, down alongside you. Taking that right leg all the way across the body, you might just roll your gaze over your right shoulder. Again, you can draw the toes of that right foot up towards your face, or just lessen off and just allow the leg to drift away from you a little bit. Lovely. Let's come all the way back to center. Bringing the right knee in towards the chest. Just release the band. Pop it on your left side now, just for later. Now, option, as you drive through that left heel, keeping the toes up towards the ceiling. Option one, just let's all bring the right knee out towards your right armpit there. Lovely, we can stay there, getting a nice hip opener, or lifting head and shoulders, holding onto the outside edge of that right foot with your right hand, or come into a half happy baby. So as you bring your head and your shoulders down, we're keeping the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, the shin perpendicular to the floor. And very gently, we draw down with the knee. So you're trying to think about your knee coming down towards the outer ribs, down towards that armpit. Again, active feet. So we're pressing into that left heel. I've still got my left hand on my left hip. There's a little reminder there. Lovely. Beautiful. Let's take one more breath. Ooh. And then slowly, slowly, let's release. Let's bring the right foot to the floor. And then bring the left foot to join it. So we're back in that starting position, both feet on the floor. Arms down alongside you, spread the fingers nice and wide. Inhale as you reach the arms all the way back. And as you exhale, let's give the left knee a squeeze now, pausing there, giving that knee a little squeeze. Right foot stays on the floor, soften the shoulders, keep the neck nice and long. You might notice one side feels a little different. Beautiful. Slide the shoulders away from the ears as you inhale. And as you exhale, you might lift head and shoulders, coming into that little nose to knee position. Lovely. Take one more round of breath there. And then slowly lower down. And as the head touches the floor, we'll slide that right leg out nice and long now. Active through that right foot. So we press the heel down, keeping the toes up towards the ceiling. As we see if we can gently guide that left knee in towards our chest a little bit more there. Ooh, think about that lovely diagonal stretch across the lower back. Beautiful. And then keeping the right foot up towards the ceiling, toes up towards the ceiling, we're going to gently bring that left knee down towards the left armpit. If you want to bring your right hand just onto the top of the right hip, again, acting as that little reminder of keeping the right leg where it is, connected to the floor, anchoring us down. Lovely. Then left knee comes to chest. We find our band, which should be on the left-hand side of you now. You might need to lift head and shoulders to find the ball of the foot. Try and avoid the arch of the foot, so the ball of the foot or the heel Sliding the hand down the band, leave no rush as you take that leg up towards the ceiling, and then lots of choice. You might reach the arms up, but again, avoid lifting the back of the shoulder blades off the floor. Find that sense of heaviness, that connection across the shoulder blades. You might rest your elbows on the floor as you stretch away through both heels now. And then band into left hand, right hand come back to right hip, take an inhale. Exhale, let's open the left leg out to the left now. So you might bring the elbow down to the floor to act as a little bit of a support. And again, those right toes will want to roll open. So can you keep active through both heels, stretching them away from you? Lovely. Inhale to center, changing hands now. So as you exhale and carry that left leg across the body, left arm just drops down alongside you. So this time the right toes are going to roll open to the right, kind of on the outside of the leg. And you maybe take your gaze over that left arm, sorry. So head turning in the opposite direction. Lovely. Remember, you can draw the foot up towards the face a little more. Let's inhale, come back to center. Changing hands. Exhaling, right hand to the top of the hip as you take the leg out to the side. Active through both heels. Opening up, finding some space this morning. Ooh. Inhale to center. Last time as you exhale, changing hands, rolling gently onto the outside edge of that right foot, carrying the left leg with you. Maybe again, rolling chin to left shoulder. Oh, lovely. And again, just adjust the position of that left foot, either drawing up towards you or just letting it drop away from you. Lovely. Let's come all the way back to center. Bringing the left knee down towards your chest, you can just pop the band away now, just to one side. And again, as you bring that left knee down and angling it out towards the side of the body, keeping the right heel pressing down towards the floor, opening up through the hips. Option to lift head and shoulders, finding that half happy baby. I like to take my hand to the outside of the foot because it just opens up through the shoulder, again, thinking everything is connected. But if you prefer, you can even sometimes hook your first two fingers around your big toe. That's an option. But again, I like to keep that sense of space across my chest by holding onto the outside of my foot. Choice is yours. Flexing that left foot so you want to stomp that foot onto the ceiling. Lovely. And then slowly, let's release. Let's bring the left knee to the chest. Slide that right heel in and then bring the right knee in towards the chest. Knees together, one hand on each knee. Just take the legs around in a little circle now. So just circling the knees, just bringing the hips back into alignment, massaging away any tension from the lower back and the buttocks. Change direction. And deciding energetically how you feel, you might just want to roll to one side, take a couple of breaths there and then find your way to seated. Or a little bit more energy, a little bit more playful, hook the ankles, hold behind the knees and start to rock up and down through the length of the spine. Maybe do that a couple of times, few times if there's space, until whoop, that little roll carries you all the way up. I do like doing that. Something very childlike and playful about that, isn't there? So I'm going to cross my right leg in front of my left leg. You might cross at the middle of your shins, or some of you might just prefer to have one heel in front of the other. Cross-legged isn't for you this morning, stretch the legs out. Lovely, let's sit up nice and tall and bring the hands together at the heart. So just for a moment, pressing the palms gently together, dropping the chin down towards the chest, getting that lovely length and opening through the back of the neck. You might want to pause here and set an intention for the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend. Or just simply reminding yourself of that connectivity. Everything is connected. So we're going to interlace the hands. Push the palms forwards. Keep the chin drop down towards the chest, but lean back a little way. So you're just stretching out in that area between the shoulder blades. Lovely. And then slowly, let's bring the hands all the way back to the heart. Let's add a little bit of flow. Inhale, as you arrow the arms up, you might start to lift the chin. And as you exhale, hands are flexed as you push the palms away from you, fingertips finding the floor, brushing the floor before we inhale, reach the arms up, palms up this time. Exhale, let's bring the hands to the heart, the chin to the chest, interlacing the hands, push the palms forwards, hollow out through the belly and get that lovely stretch out through the spine. Hands coming back to the heart. Inhaling, arrow the arms up. Exhaling, strong wrists as you press the hands away from you. Fingertips just brushing to the floor. Inhaling all the way up. Shoulders away from ears. Exhaling, hands coming to heart. Interlacing the hands. Push the palms forwards and hollow out through the belly. Ooh, a nice stretch out between the shoulder blades. One more time. Hands to heart. Inhaling, arms lift. Shoulders stay down the back. As you exhale, really pushing the side walls away from you, keeping the wrist flexed. All the way up as you inhale. Palms lift up this time. Think about leading with the little fingers. Exhaling, hands to heart. And then the last time to round the back. So push the palms away from you. We're kind of leaning towards the back of our sit bones there. Lovely. Let's sit up nice and tall. Bring the hands to the heart. We're going to interlace the hands one more time, but this time we're going to take the palms up towards the ceiling and press up through the base of the index finger. So see if you can imagine now just pressing up through the base of the index finger. And then drop the chin to your chest and releasing your thumbs down your neck. Just bring your hands behind your head. So thumbs are stretching down towards the base of the neck, lifting chin and taking the elbows out nice and wide. If that's too tight, you can just bring your fingertips to your temples. Lovely. So pull the elbows back as you begin to lift the chin. So just allow the weight of the head to be supported in your hands there. Lovely. And then slowly coming back to center. You're going to keep the left hand where it is as you bring the right hand down to the floor and draw that left elbow up towards the ceiling there. Lovely. So draw that elbow back and keeping that nice sense of space now, we're going to push the left palm away from you over to the right hand side. Lovely. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to turn the palm down and reach diagonally across the body. So you want to reach over that right knee. Palm turns up. Inhale. We're going to rainbow the arm up, chin tucking into chest. And as you exhale, palm down as you reach across the body. Lovely. One more time. Inhaling up. And this time as you exhale, we're going to bring the hands all the way down to the floor and walk both hands out straight in front of you into a little forward fold, flexing the feet so all 10 toes point forwards. Someone's dropped out. Lovely. So we've got right shin in front of left shin, all 10 toes pointing forwards as you reach the arms forwards, keeping that connection through your sit bones now. Lovely. Slowly, slowly walk the hands all the way back towards you, lifting the spine. Fingertips behind you, fingers pointing forwards or out to the side. So you can press into your hands, lift up through the chest, draw the shoulders down the back, lifting chin. Lovely. Take one more nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, soften the elbows, lean into your hands and stretch the legs out, giving them a little bit of a bounce. And then we'll bring left shin in front of right shin. So again, you might just have the heels crossed or cross mid-shin, feet flexed, interlacing the hands, push the palms up towards the ceiling. Again, press up through the base of the index finger, drop the shoulders away from the ears, and then chin to chest, free up the thumbs. Thumbs reach down towards the base of the neck. And then lift the chin, broaden the elbows, so pull the elbows back, and you might even lift your chin away from your chest. Just let the head rest in the hands there. Lovely. And then coming all the way back to center. This time, left hand coming down to the floor. And as you pull that right elbow back, you might even take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Lovely. And then push that right palm over to the left. So we're quite active through the hand there. Lovely. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we'll bring the palm down as you just reach diagonally, sort of across and over that left knee. Palm turns up. Inhale. Lovely. So you might tuck the chin into the armpit. Exhale, palm down as you reach diagonally across. Lovely diagonal stretch across the back. Lovely. Just once more. Palm uplifted. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, we're going to bring both hands down and take that little walk all the way forwards, flexing the feet, so toes pointing forwards, keeping connection through the sit bones. So when we flex our feet, we might feel a little bit more stretch through the outer hip there. So not worrying if your hands are closer towards your shins than mine. Lovely. And then we'll walk the hands all the way back towards you. Fingertips finding the floor behind you, pointing forwards or slightly out to the side, whatever affords you the most space to open up through the chest there. I like to turn my fingers out slightly because my shoulders always feel a bit tight. Lovely. Let's take one more nice deep breath in, pressing into your hands. And as you exhale, let's soften and release. Keep the hands where they are. So you can bring your feet to the floor, knees point up towards the ceiling. We'll hold on around the front or the backs of the knees, yogi's choice. And see if you can think about lifting up through the spine now. So crown of the head grows really tall, shoulders slide away from ears, take an inhale. And as you exhale, rock back, chin to chest, again, get that little stretch out through the back seam of the body. So inhale, stretching and lifting the front of the body as you lift up nice and tall. Exhale as you round. So we kind of just draw against the knees. Just once more, inhale. This time as you exhale, hollow out, just pause there. And then keeping the weight drop back ever so slightly, just think about lifting up just about halfway there. So you can hold on behind your knees, getting ready for a little boat pose. So I'm leaning back ever so slightly, shoulders away from ears, chest nice and lifted. Let's lift one shin and then maybe the other shin this morning. Lovely. Beautiful. So think about lifting up through the very crown of the head, lifting up through the chest, take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the right foot to the floor, left shin stays where it is. Inhale, other toes tip-tapping down, exhale, inhale, lovely. You can do this again with the arms outstretched, tipping the toes down, or keep holding on around the backs of the thighs, lovely. Let's all pause there, lifting up, reaching out through the fingertips. Option to straighten the legs this morning, woo! We'll do this maybe on Sunday. We'll have our Easter eggs as balance. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to cross at the ankles. Draw the feet in towards you and see if you can roll over your feet and come to all fours. If that doesn't work for your ankles, just find your way onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You're going to pick up the right hand and see if you can turn your fingertips in towards you, bringing the palm flat. If that's too much, then just turn your hand out to the side there. And keeping the palm pressing down, just start to shift the weight round in a circle there. Ooh, feeling a delicious stretch through the inside of the wrist, convincing yourself it's delicious. Change direction. You're right-handed, you'll maybe feel this more on this side than the other. Slowly, slowly come back to center. Give that hand a little shake. Ooh, and then plant it down, fingers spread nice and wide. Left fingertips turning in or slightly out to the side if that's too much. And again, any wrist issues, be really mindful, do those little circles. Really important that we warm up through the wrist before we come into weight bearing. And do that the other way, and especially with so many of us over our mobile devices now, really important to think about the health of our wrists and our hands. We'll come back to center. Slowly release, or give the hand a shake, and keeping the palms spread nice and wide, let's imprint the palms into the floor. Coming into that lovely tabletop position, so think about lengthening from crown of head through to the tailbone. And then those delicious cat-cows. So as you inhale, we allow the belly to drop, heart to draw forwards, keep pressing into hands as you arch the back. Exhale as you round up. Angry Halloween cat. So rolling with the breath now. And see perhaps if you can come back to that lovely balanced breath we did at the beginning, Samaskriti breathing. So maybe as you inhale, taking the chest forwards, counting 2 or 3 or whatever your breath count was. And then exhaling. So we're paying equal attention as we open and stretch the front of the body as we inhale, and then connect with the back of the body as you exhale. So let's do one more. Inhaling, keep pressing into the hands as you draw the body forwards. And this time as you exhale, we're going to pause in the angry Halloween cat. So hollowing out through the belly, and then just start to nudge your hips from side to side, really slowly. And then you might take your ear to your shoulder, so as right hip comes to the right ear to right shoulder. So you're making a little banana shape through the body. Lovely. And keep that little wiggle on now as you slowly come back to that tabletop. So you're just lifting the chest. Lovely. Come all the way back to center, back into that tabletop. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Exhaling, rounding up, angry cat. Once more, inhaling. Exhaling, holding that angry Halloween cat. And again, little nudge, side to side, wagging an imaginary tail, and start to turn the head, shortening one side of the body and then the other. And then keep that little wiggle on as you wiggle your way back to that tabletop position. Beautiful. So I'm just going to turn, I'll keep it here on my mat. So we're going to bring both hands over to the left side of your mat as you step your right foot forwards. I had to think about where I would be navigationally speaking, so right foot is forwards. Now, if keeping both hands on the floor is difficult, you can always rest your right forearm on your thigh. But if you can, both hands to the inside of that front foot. You're going to squeeze your right knee in towards your right upper arm. Left arm, you're going to draw a big circle all the way forwards and up, and then reach it back, turning the thumb up towards the ceiling, opening up through the shoulder, and then big circle all the way back down. So inhale, arm comes all the way back. You might look back, keep squeezing knee against upper arm, exhale. Lovely, we're going to do that twice more. So you can always work from here if that's a little bit easier on the shoulder. Let's do one more. Beautiful. This time we're going to bring both hands to the floor so you can spin your left shin back behind you. We'll draw a big rainbow all the way up. So right toes facing towards the top of the mat, left shin spun behind you, arms out nice and wide as though we're in a warrior position. Squeeze that right knee out to the side. Lovely. Turn the right palm up. And as you inhale, I'm going to reach the right arm all the way up and back. And as you exhale, right forearm to thigh, left arm arcs all the way over the head, upper arm alongside the ear, and again, inhale. So we do this from standing sometimes. We're just doing a little kneeling version. Keep that knee squeezed out towards the little toe. This time we'll bring right forearm to right thigh. Reach that arm overhead, tuck the chin in towards the armpit, look up. And then take the gaze down towards right knee and wrap that left arm behind you. Some of you might even be able to snuggle it in to the underneath waist there. Now think about drawing that top shoulder back so we're getting a nice stretch out through the neck. Beautiful. And then slowly, slowly, we're going to rise back up, taking the arms out level with the shoulders and straighten out through that right leg. So we're in gate now. So right leg is straight, toes pointing forwards, trying to press the outside edge of that right foot towards the floor. Lovely. Right hand down, left arm up and over, deepening that stretch now. Lovely. Inhale to center. Pop the hips up to the right as you bring left arm down and right arm up and over. Pause there for a moment, really engage those oblique muscles. Inhale, hips to center, back to center. Exhale, all the way over. Lovely. One more, pop the hips up to the right. Exhale, pause, 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 fingertips just reaching down. And then some of you might be able to bring the left hand down to the floor. So it comes kind of forwards of you. So as you bring your weight forwards, you've got your shoulder over your wrist, left shoulder over left wrist. Lovely. So really try and press the outside edge of that right foot in towards the floor. Beautiful. And then both hands, we're going to come down to the floor. I'm going to walk both hands round back towards your right foot and then spin that left shin back behind you. So we're back in a low lunge, both hands framing that right foot back in that low lunge. Lovely. Come up onto your fingertips, lift the chest as you inhale. And as you exhale, we'll start to draw the hips back, pulling the toes up towards the face, little hamstring stretch. Inhale, chest comes forward, so slide those shoulders away from the ears. Exhale as you draw the hips back. Lovely. This time we'll come forwards. Tuck the back foot under and lift the knee if you wish, powering up through the heel, keep the chest lifted. And then planting that left hand, right arm lifts up. So we're turning towards the right knee, reaching that arm all the way up. You might even lean it back a little bit. Beautiful. Then we'll bring the hands down, drop the back knee and slide that right foot back. So we're back on all fours. Let's take the heat out of the knees, tuck the toes under, lift the hips into a downward dog and just have a little pedal there. Just stretch out through the backs of the legs. I'm just going to turn on my mat so when we do that little sequence on the other side, I'm mirroring you. Pressing the heel down, balancing movement with breath. So inhaling as you bend one knee, exhaling as you do the other. Lovely. And then we'll drop back down onto all fours, walking hands over to the right side of the mat. So this time you can step your left foot forwards. Lovely. So we've got our left foot forwards there. Hands onto the inside of that left foot. If that's too much, then you can bring your left forearm onto your thigh there. So we're going to work the right arm this time. So we're going to reach the right arm forwards and up, and then reach it back. So you're squeezing that front knee in towards your upper arm, and then we come all the way back. So right arm moving this time. Inhale as you reach back, thumb up towards the ceiling. And exhale, so you're taking the shoulder through its whole range of movement. Let's do that twice more. Keep squeezing that left knee in towards your upper arm. Ooh, it's quite hard work on the hip as well, isn't it? Lovely. So this time I'm going to bring both hands down and we flip that right shin back behind you. And then windmill the arms all the way up and out level with the shoulders. So that left knee tends to want to roll in. So keep it squeezed out as though you're still had your arm pressing against it. Beautiful. So turning your left palm up. Let's inhale and reach the left arm all the way up and back. And as you exhale, forearm to thigh and right arm this time comes alongside here. Lovely stretch. Let's do that once more. So inhale, keep squeezing that left knee out towards little toe. And exhale. Beautiful. So this time we'll keep the chin tucked in towards the armpit. Let's reach out and then take the gaze down towards left knee and wrap your right arm behind you. Some of you might just bring the back of the hand onto your low back. Some of you might even be able to snuggle it in towards the underneath waist there. So think about really drawing that right shoulder back so we're getting a nice stretch out through the neck. Lovely. And then we'll slowly release, bringing the arms out level with the shoulders. So this time we can extend that left leg. So you've got your big toe roughly lined up with your right knee. And sometimes the knee again wants to collapse. So see if you can press the outside edge of your foot towards the floor. Lovely. Let's bring that right arm up and over. Oh, lovely stretch out through the side body. Inhale to center, pop the hips up to the left. Right fingertips towards the floor. Just pause there so you can really feel those oblique muscles holding you there. Inhale to center. Once more, exhale. Oh, lovely stretch for the hip. That feels good this morning. Inhale, pop the hips up. Option just to reach that right hand down, or see if you can take the hand slightly forwards. So you can see when I shift my weight forwards and extend my top arm alongside my ear, I've got my shoulder in line with my wrist. So you might need to slightly adjust it and then see if you can press down through the outside edge of that left foot. So the whole left side of the body is getting a lovely stretch. Beautiful. So this is when we bring both hands down, take a walk all the way back round till your hands frame that left foot, pivoting that right shin back behind you. So we're back into that low lunge. Fingertips behind the floor. See if you can lift your chest, allowing that right hip to drop down. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw the hips back and pull the left toes towards the face. Lovely. Inhale, rock forwards. We're coming off the knee in a minute and it's a little bit knee heavy. Exhale, rock back. So this time we'll plant the left foot, plant the right hand, pick up the back knee if you wish, and we'll come into a twist towards the left this time. Left arm lifting, maybe taking that little lean back. Beautiful. Bringing the hands down, lowering that back knee so we can ease our way back onto all fours. Toes tuck under, up into a downward dog. So take the sting out of the knees. Have that little pedal out through the feet, pushing one heel down and then the other. And then from that downward dog, walk your hands back towards your feet. So you're in a forward fold at the back of your mat there. Bend your knees generously. Maybe just sway the arms from side to side, checking that your toes and your knees stay pointing forwards. Or you can even hold onto your elbows and do that little sway. So check toes, knees, stay tracking forwards as you do that little sway. Lovely. And then just letting the arms dangle in front of you. Keep the chin tucked in, keep the knees bent as you roll your way up to stand, all the way up. Lovely. I'm just going to adjust the camera there slightly. Beautiful. So we're going to cross the arms at the wrists, just so you're taking a big jump off. So as you bend the knees, we're going to take the arms all the way up and then bring the arms all the way back behind you, as though you were sliding your hands into the back pockets of your jeans. Take the shoulders away from the ears. Think about lengthening the tailbone down as you lift the chest up. We'll squeeze the bottom. So we've just stretched out the back of the body. We're now opening up through the front of the body. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, soften the knees, slide the hands all the way down the backs of the legs as you come down into that forward fold. Slide the hands at the front of the legs to your shins or your thighs as you inhale into a flat back. Tips of the ears and crown of the head point forwards. Exhale as you soften and fold. Crossing at the wrists. Inhale, sweep the arms in front of you as though you're taking off that imaginary jumper. Exhaling, hands come all the way back behind you again, settling into the back pockets of your jeans. Squeeze the shoulders down away from the ears, elbows pointing to the wall behind you, maybe lifting the chin. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands slide all the way down the backs of the legs, coming into that forward fold. Sliding the hands at the front of the legs. Inhale as you lift up halfway. Exhale as you soften and fold. Crossing at the wrists, one more time with the breath. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands all the way back behind you, settling on the low back. Lift the chest, gently squeeze the bottom. Inhale. Exhale, hands slide all the way down the backs of the legs into that forward fold. Last time into that halfway lift. Inhale. Next time as you exhale, we're going to plant the hands down and keeping the feet where they are, walk your hands forwards into a plank. I'll just drop the camera. So walk the hands forwards into your plank pose. Option to lower onto the knees. If you're with me, crown of the head and tips of the ears are forwards. Think about slightly doming up between the shoulder blades. So really press into your hands, firm up through your belly. Lovely. So the bottom isn't really high. Think about just dropping the hips ever so slightly. Beautiful. And then we'll all drop to the knees, flatten the toes and roll yourself down onto your tummy. Resting one hand on top of the other, forehead on your hands. Pick one leg up, stretch it back. And then the other leg. So we've got a nice open space across the hips. Lovely. So a little bit of strength now for the back of the body. So again, think about connecting, not just flexibility, but also strength. We need both in yoga. So option to keep the head resting on the hands. We'll all do that to start with. As you inhale, you're going to stretch your right leg back and then lift it from the top of the hip so legs stay straight. Exhale as you lower the leg. So lengthen that left leg away as you inhale, lifting from the top of the hip. Exhale as you lower. Let's do one more. So rather than thinking about how high you can lift it, think about how long you can make the leg from the top of your thigh to the tips of your toes. Left leg lifting. Inhale. Option to stay there, or now lift your chest, your forehead away from your hands, but keep the gaze down. Inhale. Lifting right leg, exhale to lower. Inhale, left leg. Exhale to lower. So as you do this once more, think about keeping the front of the pelvis level as you lift alternate legs. Beautiful. Slowly lower down, have a little rock from side to side across the front of the hips. Option to keep the hands where they are, or this time extend the hands forwards, coming up onto little tented fingertips. So the palms are lifted and the arms are out on the diagonal in front of you. Lift the chest, gaze down towards the floor, opposite arm and leg, right leg, left arm, lift. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen, exhale. Other side, so without rocking wildly across the front of the pelvis. We just change from side to side, so fingertips aren't pressing down too much in towards the floor on that supporting hand. Let's do one more with right leg, left arm. And then opposite sides, lovely. Slowly release, make that little pillow for your forehead. Point the toes up towards the ceiling, and then have a little rock of the feet from side to side. Lovely. And then we'll bring the legs down behind you. This time the heels are connected and your toes are very gently turned out like a little mermaid tail. So squeeze the bottom very gently and lift your mermaid tail off the floor just a little way. Lift it from the top of the hips so the knees aren't bent. Lovely. And then we'll start a little flutter kick. So as your heels brush against each other, keep the breath smooth and steady as you just flutter kick the legs. Beautiful. Getting up a little bit of speed if you can. Option to lift the chest. So you're keeping the gaze down towards the floor. Final option, bring the arms alongside you. Fingertips onto the floor. Palms lifted. And see if you can flutter for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. A little bit of speed. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax, hands underneath the forehead, toes up towards the ceiling. Maybe have a little circle of the feet or a rock side to side. Ooh. And then extend the legs back behind you, hands underneath the shoulders, push up onto all fours. And just for a moment, slowly bring your hips to your heels. So we just strengthen the back. We've worked all of those muscles. So just let them stretch out by taking a child pose, arms extended, hips to heels. Ah, beautiful. Come and face you. And then walking the hands back towards your knees, so you can just sit up momentarily on your heels. Pop your bottom to one side, and we'll swish the legs out in front of you. So think about connecting your sit bones with the floor, so you might need to slide the flesh of your bottom out from underneath you, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale as you reach the arms up. And as you exhale, can you keep that connection through your sit bones as you slowly lower the arms down, down, down. And the hands might just rest alongside your thighs. Some of you might have the hands alongside your shins. Some of you might even be able to wrap your hands around your feet. Just think about tucking your chin in towards your chest. So we've got a nice long neck and a nice long spine. So rather than rounding the back, can you think about lengthening through the spine? So you might have to bring your hands back towards you a little ways. Easy with the breath now. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly, we'll slide the hands back up the legs, bringing that right heel in towards you. We'll keep the foot on the inside, so about a fist's width between your right foot and the inside of that left leg. Afford yourself a little bit of space. Left hand or left elbow brings the knee in towards the chest, and we'll bring the right hand behind you. So we're not leaning back, we're keeping the body nice and upright there. Beautiful. So gazing forwards this time, rather than turning the head, draw that right shoulder back, and then just drop your chin down towards the chest. And then lift the chin up. So you're doing a very slowly nod. Chin to chest. Keep drawing the right shoulder back. And then lifting up. Let's do just once more, so really slowly. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly, let's release that right leg. Give the legs a little bit of a bounce and then slide the left heel in. So right hand or right elbow. If you've got to lean forwards to hook the knee, think about lifting your spine up again. And if you can't, just use your hand. So left hand comes behind you. And again, we're not leaning into it. We're using that hand behind you to prop yourself forwards and up. Again, gazing forwards, drop the chin down towards the chest. So I'm getting a nice stretch out through the neck. And then lifting chin up. Dropping chin down. Lifting chin up. Let's do that just once more. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly release. Keep that foot where it is. Bring the other to join it. And then once more, we'll hold on around the backs of the legs. Shift the weight back ever so slightly. Shoulders away from ears as you come up into that little boat pose again. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Lifting thumbs to meet breastbones. Take a little twist to the right and see if you can extend your left leg. Come back to center. Twist to the left, extend right leg. Woo, let's do one more each way. So see if you can lift up each time in the middle. Lovely. Let's come all the way back to center. Extend the arms out, reach out through the fingertips. Option to straighten the legs one more time. And then we'll bring the feet to the floor, hands just underneath the thighs. You can roll your way down onto your back. Stretch out the legs. Stretch out through the arms and find that delicious full body extension. And you might have a little wiggle through the hips there, stretching into one side of the body and then the other. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the arms down alongside you. And walk your heels back in towards your hips. And so knees point up towards the ceiling. Again, you might just want to rearrange your pelvis there. So coming back to that nice balanced breath now. Let's just end where we began. So starting with the arms, coming back to that balanced breath. Inhale, take the arms all the way up and back. And as you exhale, connecting with that same length and depth and quality of your exhale. Let's do that once more. So beginning to draw the awareness back to the breath. Adding the hips this next time. So inhale, arms lift, hips push up. That count of 3 or 4, whatever is working for you today. And then slowly, slowly release. Let's do that once more. Pressing into the base of the big toe, keeping those knees pointing forwards and parallel. So this time we're going to come all the way up into that bridge, arms extended all the way back. Keep the hips up this time as you lower the arms down alongside you. Option to walk the shoulder blades underneath you so you can interlace the hands coming up a little higher. Press into the base of the big toe, squeeze the bottom, bringing your chest towards your chin. Everything that's connected to the earth is pressing down, pushing up with the hips and sending the knees forwards. Beautiful. And if you're with me, lifting the heels so you can bring the arms down alongside you. Again, I'm going to keep my palms lifted up on those little tented fingertips. You might choose to keep your heels lifted as you slowly, slowly lower down. When your hips touch down, just pause for a moment, let everything settle. And then you might want to give your knees a little squeeze. A temptation as we kind of bring our knees in straight away. So it's just nice to let kind of all the pieces settle, almost a bit like a snow globe. Let everything settle before we move again. So if you've got your knees in, you might be rocking, you might be circling. And then slowly, slowly, bring the feet down to the floor. Let's take the feet a little wider apart. And again, knock the knees into touch. Turning the palms up towards the ceiling as you bring the arms just away from the body a little ways. Maybe pick up your head, tuck your chin in towards your chest. and gently place it down. The very middle of the back of your head is on the floor. You can lift your chest so you can snuggle your shoulder blades just down and away from your ears. And then allow the back to sink, the collarbones to broaden. You can lift your hips, extend out through the tailbone and lower down. Maybe wiggle your toes and then plant the feet. And so everything that is connected now with the floor beneath you has a chance to begin to soften. So as you close your eyes, just allow that contemplation, that reflection once more to be drawn to your breath, remembering everything is connected. So how we breathe will affect perhaps our mental state. When our breath is short and ragged, we tend to feel a little bit more agitated. And when we feel like that, we tend to move like that. So if we can carry off the mat that sense of balance, that sense of connectivity, then maybe that will perfume the rest of our day. Maybe the morning before we forget. And then we have to slow down. We have to remind ourselves. We have to remind ourselves of that connection. I know I do. When I feel myself being pulled into a pace that really doesn't suit me, I have to consciously connect with my breath, slow my body down, draw my mind back from racing ahead. So just pausing for a few minutes now. You might want to reconnect with that lovely Samaspriti or balanced breath just to complete our practice this morning. You don't have to add a count. You just simply sense and feel whether your inhale is the same length, depth and quality as your exhale. We are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe automatically. Not only are we in the universe is in us. So reminding yourself intervals when you feel that you've lost that connection with your breath, when you're rushing, just reconnect. So as you begin to slowly wiggle your fingers, take a little roll across the back of your head, easing our way into this lovely long weekend, this holiday weekend. Maybe we're planning to see family and friends, reconnecting with them. If you want to take a full body stretch, feel free to extend the arms back, straighten out through the legs, have a little roll of the feet, circle of the wrists. And then taking your time, we'll lower the arms and bring the knees in towards the chest, one at a time. Have a little circle, a little roll. And then carefully take yourself onto your right side or your left side, it really doesn't matter which, before coming up to a comfortable seated position. And we'll take that universal mudra of connection by just bringing the back of the hands to rest on your thighs or your knees, connecting your thumbs or your first fingers and allowing your rest of your fingers just to open. Soften the shoulders. You often see beautiful statues of Buddhas in this universal mudra of connection, dropping your chin down towards your chest, just sliding the shoulders down away from your ears. And just read again those beautiful words. We are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe automatically. Not only are we in the universe? The universe is in us. So as we bring our hands together at the heart, just connecting the palms, the thumbs, nestling in towards your breastbone, dropping your chin down towards your chest. And even though we are far apart, we're all connecting through our lovely yoga practice through Zoom. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to you. So namaste. Thank you for coming this morning. Oh, I've got itchy nose. Thank you for joining me on this lovely Good Friday. I think we've brought some sunshine out now as well, which is lovely. So I'm back on Sunday at 10 o'clock.